So in this video, I explain exactly how I earned 350,000 euros as a freelance data analyst using just LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is better than any other platform for freelancers to land the highest paid projects. And I'm the living proof. I've worked as a freelance data analyst myself for just over 2 years, earning more than $300,000 during that time, all through LinkedIn, without applying to jobs myself, by just having 2 big clients. I'm not trying to flex here, but today I just want to share the 5 simple steps I took that made all of this possible.
And how you can do the same, even if you don't have any previous freelance experience at all.
And I'll also share the 3 biggest mistakes I see people make when it comes to becoming a high-paid freelancer. But before we get to that, first you need to understand that LinkedIn is a search engine, just like Google. So that means you can find your colleagues, you can search for jobs, but guess what? It's also a search engine for recruiters. And guess which platform 93% of recruiters use? So if almost all recruiters out there are looking for professionals on LinkedIn, then you might want to do LinkedIn search engine optimization, LinkedIn SEO. Meaning, if you're a data analyst, for example, and there's recruiters looking for data analysts, then you want to have the right keywords on your LinkedIn profile so they can actually find you. So make sure you put the right keywords in the right places, starting with the header, the most important place for your keywords. And try to use as many keywords as you can to describe what it is you're doing. You could be a data analyst / data engineer / Power BI specialist / SQL expert, whatever. Use all of them so that all recruiters looking for all these different keywords can actually find you on LinkedIn. And this brings me to mistake number 1, using the header incorrectly. And there's 2 ways to mess this up. First of all, you can use the wrong keywords. So keywords that don't really describe what it is you're doing, or you're using keywords that are not universally known for your job role or job description. So things like performance consultant or whatever. What is that even? I don't know. And the second thing I see people do wrong when it comes to the header on LinkedIn is there's this trend where people use the header to kind of describe a story or what it is they can do, what kind of value they provide or services they provide.
Instead of hardware design engineer, I would put something like I've created hardware design to help achieve XYZ.
But the reality is no recruiter is going to look for hardware engineers by typing in, oh, I'm looking for I am hardware engineer looking to blah, 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 blah. No, they would most likely just type in hardware engineer. I build dashboards and reports to add in actionable insights for this company, blah, blah. No, if they look for a freelance data analyst, you better have that keyword freelance data analyst in the header. It's pretty obvious what you do as a freelance data analyst. You analyze data. Now, the second most important place is your bio. This is where you can go a bit more into the details about what it is you actually do and what you want to do, about what it is you do and what your expertise is. And the key point is you want to repeat the same keywords as in your header, but you also want to add more specific ones. Mention your skill stack, which tools you use, or what programming language you're proficient at. And the third most important place is your work experience. Again, try to repeat as many keywords as you can, but also mention measurable results you have achieved in your career. Recruiters love to see that. Now, apart from these 3 places, you also want to mention your keywords under your education, your specific skills, and the very underrated one, your certifications. Which brings me to mistake number 2, underestimating the importance of certifications. I'll keep it really short. Courses are great to improve your skills, but getting the certification doesn't mean jack shit. But the fact is that companies and recruiters sometimes require specific certifications. In fact, some recruiters even use specific certifications as their search criteria on LinkedIn. So if you want to stand a chance and be on top of the pile of potential candidates, you need to get certifications. Now, if you don't have any certifications and you're into data and AI, I can definitely recommend checking out DataCamp. They have all kinds of courses and industry-recognized certifications. I've been recommending DataCamp for years already, so if you're interested, check them out. In short, the more keywords you can put on your LinkedIn profile, the easier time the algorithm has to index you in the search results. But here's the thing, if you want to become a freelancer, then it needs to be obvious for recruiters that you're open to freelance gigs. So what do? You put the word freelance or freelancer in front of all the previously mentioned keywords. Even if you don't have any previous experience as a freelancer, it basically says you're open to freelancing. And that's where platforms like Upwork and Fiverr can come in handy, because you can do super small gigs for a very cheap price, but at least you can get the experience and at least you can say that you're now officially a freelancer. So you can put it in your LinkedIn profile, or you can do a project for your mom, build her a dashboard, let her pay you €1, and officially you are a freelancer. freelancer, so nobody gives a damn whether you've actually had previous freelance experience as long as you have some work experience. You really have to understand that there's two worlds of recruitment, the freelancing and the non-freelancing worlds. And recruiters from one world don't talk to the other world. So recruiters looking for freelance tech professionals will only look for freelance tech professionals. All right, so now that you've optimized your LinkedIn profile for SEO, it's kind of like you've activated a magnet that will attract opportunities for you. Recruiters, projects, clients. But there's one key thing to add to amplify that attraction. You see, when you go to a restaurant or order food, you first check the reviews. Before you watch a next movie or pick a TV show to watch, you check the ratings. And that's exactly what recruiters do as well when looking for tech professionals. They check the referrals, especially if you're a freelancer. Yet, I see so many people on LinkedIn without referrals on their profile. And that's good news for you, because if you can get a referral, you can already stand out from everyone else on LinkedIn. And it's actually super simple to get a referral. Just ask your old employer or colleague or boss, hey, I'm trying to update my LinkedIn profile, and since we work together, would you mind writing 2 or 3 sentences about your experience working with me? In return, I can write you a referral as well if you want. And having a couple of referrals as an additional bonus, it's again a place where people can put in some keywords that will help you in the ranking on LinkedIn. So these 2 steps are great for passively attracting recruiters and jobs. But if you really want to land that 6-figure freelance project as fast as possible, you need to put in some proactive effort as well. And that means you need to respond to every recruiter that reaches out to you, even if it's not relevant or not freelance. Let me explain why. If you get a message from a recruiter along the lines of, hey, I came across your profile and you seem like a great match for this position we have open. We're looking for an astronaut with experience in moonwalking. And even though the position is not relevant to you at all, you still tell them, hey, thanks for reaching out. Unfortunately, I'm currently open just for freelance data analyst positions. Change data analyst to whatever you are. If something comes up or if you have a colleague who's looking for a freelance data analyst, I'm always open to get in touch. Doing this raises your chances of still landing a freelance job in the following 2 ways. First of all, recruiters might know a client or a different recruiter to connect you with immediately. Or second of all, in the worst case, they will put your contact info and details in their system, meaning that as soon as they do have a matching opportunity, you will pop up in the recruitment system and they will reach out to you again. Alright, but what if recruiters are not sliding into your DMs daily? Glad you asked. Because to attract some eyeballs to our LinkedIn profile, especially from recruiters and hiring managers, we need to make some noise. And how do we make noise on LinkedIn? By doing something that's simple, doesn't require a lot of effort, but it might sound a little bit scary if you've never done it before. I'm talking about sharing triple V posts on LinkedIn. Valuable. The post has to either entertain, educate, or inspire. So posting that you ate a tuna sandwich on your work today doesn't fall on those 3 categories. Validate it. With this I mean, see if there's some posts that are doing really well lately. Maybe suddenly one-liners are super popular on LinkedIn, or maybe super long essays are doing really well. Whatever it is, check out what formats are already validated and see if you can translate them into your own post. And at 3, visual, you need to stop the scroll on LinkedIn, and that's pretty hard to do with just text. So either make your own photo or create one with AI that complements your post. Do this once a week and you will be surprised by how many eyeballs this will attract to your LinkedIn profile. Some of my posts have over 60,000 views on LinkedIn. Surely there's some recruiters and hiring managers in there. And I see it time and time again with students I've helped with freelancing. They start posting more frequently on LinkedIn, get a huge influx of recruiters reaching out to them, and real quickly start landing interviews or even freelance jobs. Now you don't have to post on LinkedIn, but just note that this does increase your chances of getting noticed on LinkedIn. Whether you like it or not, personal brands are the new resumes. Now, one thing you do have to do is to enable the feature on your LinkedIn profile that says open to work, because that's the first thing recruiters check for on LinkedIn when they're looking for professionals. All right, so this one was a bit obvious, so I'll give you a bonus step. Learn from others, whether it's mentors, guides, or other people that are already freelancing. Just reach out to freelancers on LinkedIn and ask them the following question. Yo, I came across your profile and saw that you are freelancing. I'm looking to start freelancing myself and was wondering how and where you found your first project. Or maybe you have some other tips for me. If you don't have time to answer, I completely understand. Cheers. That's it. You'll be surprised by how many people actually reply to your messages. Which brings me to mistake number 3 I see people make: trying to do everything themselves. When I started my freelance journey, I had a mentor that helped me get my freelancing business started, find my first project, and all the high-earning freelancers that I know also had someone answering all of the questions, connecting them to the right recruiters. So if you're in a similar spot when you're stuck in a 9-to-5, maybe you want to go freelancing, maybe you want to start a side hustle, a business agency, whatever, then I launched a free community called 9-to-5 to Dream Life, filled with like-minded people, all on the same mission of escaping the 9-to-5 and creating a life of freedom. It's filled with free coaching, free courses. Click the link to join. And if you want to know the exact steps I took to go from a 9-to-5 to freelancing, to traveling the world and starting my own business, check out this video next. Cheers.